walk into a room, smiles immediately painted the faces of everyone who caught his gaze. I remember growing up, my dad was often working. Every night when he came home from work, my little sister and I would run up to him and give him the biggest hug. We also had a habit of going on the longest car rides. My father would take the long way home just so that we could spend 5 more minutes together listening to music and watching the sunset. He was so patient and would always put up with my music of choice. When I first found out he was sick, I remember climbing into bed and bawling my eyes out. My older sister Maya came to me and said, "Lils, the word cancer has a bad connotation, and Dad is strong enough to fight and win." Looking back, I couldn't agree more with her. Cancer did not win. My dad won with his bravery, courage, and confidence. A person dear to my heart once told me, "When a person has done all the good in the world that he or she is meant to, God brings them back into his kingdom." In my opinion, God did not give my father cancer to punish him, yet to bring him home. My dad was a father, a brother, a son, and finally, a friend. My dad loved to play around and make jokes. You can ask anyone in this room, and I think they would all agree with me. Faris Shadid was a funny guy. I remember his horrible dad jokes that would somehow make me fall on the floor laughing. He was truly a master at letting us know he loved us while making jokes at our expense. If I am being honest, my dad is probably up in heaven right now, cracking one to God, trying to see if he can make him giggle. Many of you know I'm a cheerleader, and in the sport there are many different positions. My dad was my main base, meaning he kept me up when I felt wobbly. He helped me keep my head up high and move on from times of distress. The name Faris means knight, and the name Shadid means strong. My father was the definition of a strong knight. A couple days ago, when we were at the hospital, my cousin Kiara and I were trying to find out things that my dad enjoyed during his lifetime. The few things that we found out was that his favorite place was Aleppo, Syria, his favorite drink was cherry Coke, but more recently Crush, his favorite popsicle being orange, his favorite subject being history. My dad was an intelligent man. I remember each sister had their nightly math fights with him. Maya grew out of that phase quickly when she started to excel in the subject, but Nina and I, well, that's a story for a different time. One of my proudest moments was when my dad applauded me for getting an A on my 5th grade history test. We studied for that test for almost a week straight. For goodness sake, he was so proud of me that he got me a Smart Person pen. It was probably an $100 pen, and when he gave it to me, he explained what it symbolized. He said, and I quote, "Lily, this pen isn't just a regular pen. It is a pen that shows your academic achievements in an independent manner." As a young student, I knew this meant a lot to him because he used Lily instead of my nickname Lowe's. A couple days before his passing, I was by his bedside, holding his hand, when all of a sudden he started playing with his bracelet on his wrist. My sister Maya was watching this and asked what he needed help with. He took off the bracelet and placed it in the palm of my hand and said, "This is yours." Tears began to trickle out my eyes and onto his arm. He immediately looked up and asked me what was wrong. Even though this man was on his deathbed, he still cared for me. He still cared for my family while in pain. I told him that my heart was happy and that my tears were made of joy. The bracelet is beaded and has an icon of Saint Shadbil, the patron saint of Lebanon, who is known for healing the sick. This moment will forever be engraved in my head. I miss you, Dad. I missed your smile, your jokes, your laugh, and so much more. When I was younger, my parents and I were having a conversation, and I was explaining to them how I was scared to die because I didn't want to pass without someone next to me, or in heaven waiting for me. My dad said, "Lily, I promise you that I will be in heaven waiting for you, watching down on you and your family." We had this conversation maybe when I was 5 years old. Rest in peace, Dad.